The melons are doing very well in the vertical setup. Got one here, another one developing here. They're happy. The watermelons are also developing. I've got two growing. I think there's another fruit just here that I can hand pollinate when the flower opens. Beans, beans, beans. That's the haricot and the yellow beans growing together. Got them all over the place. See, we've got lots here as well. And we've got them all over the other growing arch. See, actually my fridge is full of them right now, so I don't need to pick these. I'll wait for a few more days. Beans, beans, beans. That's the haricot and the yellow beans growing together. Got them all over the place. See, we've got lots here as well. And we've got them all over the other growing arch. See, actually my fridge is full of them right now, so I don't need to pick these. I'll wait for a few more days. This is my third butternut squash plant. I've had a couple of flowers, but I don't see any fruit yet. I don't know, I'm not having so much luck with butternut squash this year. Look at all of these chilies. We've got some really long ones in here. Look at this nice curly one, so funny. Some really long ones, you see? I'm saving those up actually. I've got another plant. I'm saving those up to make another green chili sriracha with, because that went down very well. I think I've got some flowers I should probably hand pollinate today. Oh, and down in the bottom here I've got a Spanish pepper. They're meant to go red actually, but I've got a few on there. Started that one a lot later, so we'll just see what happens. The aubergines are doing very well this year. I've had a, let's say, a bumper crop. Lots of them actually. These are the ones that are quite fleshy, similar to shop bought ones. I don't let them grow as long as shop bought ones though. This is my second butternut squash plant. It's got some flowers on it. I've yet to see a fruit on it. I don't think it gets enough sun here. It's competing with the grapevine. This is my third butternut squash plant, which I had grown up. This pole here where the tomatoes are, and then I've now started to let it sprawl all the way along, and I'm really hoping that I'm going to get at least one butternut squash from this, otherwise I won't be growing it again next year. If you can see in here, there are lots of aubergines growing. Also in here, got a couple as well, which is great. I've got a bit of a sickly aubergine plant here. The last fruit as well was that colour. Tasted okay. These are the mini aubergines. I've got one here that I should probably harvest ASAP. The gherkin cucumbers are doing very well. I get about 3 or 4 every day, and they're actually quite nice. Slightly drier than a slicing cucumber, but behind that, this is the exciting thing, this is my corn. Look at that. Yes. And we've got the first one that's showing where it could potentially develop. So I just saw on the internet that when this dries out, sprinkle some of these onto the hairy bit of the corn here, and that should create corn. It's the first year of my corn plants. I think I've got about 5 down there and about 5 over here. I'm very proud. This is the first time I've grown corn, so I wasn't sure what I would expect, but they seem to be growing. And here is a Big Mac's pumpkin update. My last one was on the ground and developed a bit of black rot, so I had to get rid of it. So even though this has the potential to grow really large, I don't mind that it's hanging at the moment. I will support it if it gets too heavy for the vines, but it means that yeah, potentially you don't need to turn this because it's not lying on the ground. So let's see what happens. I've got a few others that seem to have fruited, Another one here. And another one here. It's going to be growing on the street, I'm afraid. Well, tomatoes are doing exceptionally well throughout the whole garden. Lots of green tomatoes and red tomatoes everywhere you look. Even though that was a big tomato accident and all of these plants should have been ground tomato plants. However, there must have been a mix up with the seeds, because I seem to have got gigantic tomato plants. Anyway, you live and you learn. Lots of green tomatoes on this. Lots of green tomatoes on this plant, even all the way over this end. When I see that I'm getting, I'm not sure what those tomatoes are going to be. I think they might be the beefsteak tomatoes. Anyway, fingers crossed, we'll see what happens with them. And what I don't normally show you is what's growing down at the roots of these plants, and I've already planted my winter crop, so I've got a couple of andives. We love those in Holland to have with mashed potatoes. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I've got some carrots growing down there. Let's see if something happens. I think they're overcrowded, but again, I haven't had any success with carrots. So we've got a red cabbage growing here. We've got some celery just there. What else? More endive. More red cabbage, some onions in here. That's all going on. The courgettes seem to be coming back to life after a long time of not giving any fruit. The green one seems to be doing okay. I think I need to give them more food. I'm wondering if that's why they're not doing so well. Another green one here. Another green one here. In the greenhouse I've got some coriander and spinach growing. I literally just chucked the seeds in here. I wanted to test it out as a seed bed. It does very well. I think you saw a previous film where I said this spinach was sacrificial because the slugs love it. They seem to have let it alone now, so that's good. And in this back bed, as a sort of experiment, I've got turnips growing in there. My beetroot did not do very well in this bed, and I had to remove it. It was also harbouring lots of insects, which added to my reason for ripping it out. But I believe because I've grown beetroot here in previous years, you know, it just didn't want to take. But in the back I have selderie, or celery root, and what we do with that is we put it in pea soup. It's yummy. And in the back I've got some onions there, and some more onions in there. Just to finish off on this very windy day, I apologise for any sound disturbance. Got lots of fennel growing in here. Celery over there. Some broccoli, I think, growing in here. More endive, because we love that. A little bit more cabbage in there. Or could be cauliflower. And a lot of delicious basil growing in here. Yeah, this garden has been incredibly productive. I'm very surprised, very happy, and I'll keep you updated.